What really happened behind closed doors during the final stretch of Little Singles Season 1? In the finale preview, John and JJ find themselves at the center of an awkward and potentially explosive conversation after questions emerge about whether the two actually shared a bed. What makes the situation even more interesting is the apparent contradiction between what they say and what others seem to believe happened. Was it simply a misunderstanding? Are John and JJ trying to protect themselves from unnecessary drama? Or is there more to the story than either one is willing to admit? As the season reaches its finale, relationships are already under pressure, emotions are running high, and even a seemingly simple question about sleeping arrangements can create serious tension. The preview appears to set up another uncomfortable confrontation, one that could change how viewers understand the dynamics between John, JJ, and the rest of the cast. But before jumping to conclusions, there's an important distinction to make. A preview can tease a dramatic moment without giving viewers the full context. So today, we're going to break down what the finale preview suggests, what John and JJ appear to be saying, and what remains unknown. Season finales are designed to bring unresolved storylines to the surface, and this particular situation appears to do exactly that. Throughout the season, viewers have watched the cast navigate attraction, friendships, misunderstandings, awkward dates, and complicated emotions. Now, with the finale approaching, attention turns toward John and JJ. The question of whether they shared a bed might sound straightforward, but within the context of a reality dating show, small details can quickly become major talking points. Where people slept, who spent time together, and what happened away from the cameras can all influence how relationships are perceived. The bigger issue isn't necessarily the bed itself. It's the question of trust. If two people give different versions of the same event, viewers naturally begin wondering which version is closer to the truth. And that's exactly what makes this finale preview so intriguing. The preview creates tension around the claim that John and JJ may have shared a bed. Rather than presenting the entire situation clearly, the teaser leaves viewers with questions. That uncertainty is important. Reality television is heavily edited, meaning a short preview can combine conversations from different moments to create suspense. A reaction shot may not necessarily be connected to the exact statement that appears immediately before or after it. So while the preview may make it look like John and JJ are being caught in a lie, viewers should be careful about treating the teaser as definitive proof. What we can discuss is the apparent contradiction. There's a question about what happened, there are statements from the people involved, and there appears to be enough uncertainty for the producers to turn the situation into a major finale storyline. John's role in the controversy becomes particularly interesting because the finale appears to put him in a position where he has to explain himself. If John insists that he and JJ did not share a bed, the obvious question becomes why the issue has become so significant in the first place. There are several possibilities. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding about what sharing a bed actually meant. Perhaps they were in the same room but not romantically involved. Or perhaps the situation was more complicated than the brief preview allows viewers to understand. Until the full episode provides additional context, it's better to frame these possibilities as questions rather than facts. What matters most is whether John's explanation remains consistent when the conversation becomes more intense. JJ also finds herself under the spotlight as questions about the situation become harder to avoid. If her account matches John's, that could help reinforce their explanation. But if their stories differ in even small ways, viewers may begin questioning what really happened. This is where reality television becomes particularly complicated. People can remember the same event differently, especially when emotions are involved. A disagreement over details doesn't automatically prove someone is lying. However, if the finale presents multiple conflicting statements, the audience will naturally start looking for clues, body language, timing, reactions, and whether either person changes their explanation. The title of this video raises the question directly: are John and JJ lying? The responsible answer, based only on a preview, is that we don't yet have enough information to say that definitively. The preview may strongly suggest deception, but suggestion isn't confirmation. There could be missing context that changes the entire situation. The word bed itself could refer to different circumstances, and the people involved may have different interpretations of what happened. That's why the finale episode matters. Rather than assuming guilt based on an edited teaser, viewers should pay attention to the complete conversation and the explanations provided by everyone involved. Sometimes the most revealing part of a reality TV controversy isn't what the two people at the center say, it's how everyone else reacts. If other cast members immediately challenge John and JJ's version of events, that could add another layer to the story. But even then, viewers should remember that cast members only know what they personally witnessed or were told. Someone's reaction can reveal their feelings without necessarily proving what happened. The finale could therefore become less about establishing one definitive answer and more about showing how quickly uncertainty can damage relationships. At its core, this storyline appears to be about trust. Dating already involves vulnerability. Add cameras, producers, public scrutiny, and multiple people living or spending significant amounts of time together, and misunderstandings can become much more intense. A rumor that might normally disappear after a conversation can become a major storyline when everyone is watching. For John and JJ, the challenge may not simply be explaining what happened. They may also have to convince the people around them that their explanation can be trusted. And once doubt enters a relationship or friendship, rebuilding that trust can be much harder than explaining the original situation. There are several things viewers should pay attention to when the full finale arrives. First, listen carefully to exactly what John says happened. Second, compare his explanation with JJ's version. Third, watch for whether either person changes their story when confronted. And finally, consider what other cast members say about the situation. The most important evidence will come from the full context rather than a short promotional clip. The finale may confirm some of the speculation, or it could reveal that the preview intentionally made the situation look more dramatic than it actually was. Regardless of what ultimately happened, the controversy fits into one of the broader themes of Little Singles. Relationships can become complicated when personal feelings collide with outside expectations. The cast members aren't simply navigating romantic attraction. They're also dealing with friendship, communication, rejection, insecurity, and the pressure of being watched. That makes the finale more significant than one disagreement over sleeping arrangements. It's another example of how quickly trust, communication, and perception can collide. And because this is the Season 1 finale, the outcome could also influence how viewers remember the relationships and conflicts that developed throughout the season. At this point, the safest conclusion is that the finale preview raises serious questions about John and JJ, but it doesn't give viewers enough information to establish every detail as fact. The apparent contradiction is certainly interesting, and the full episode may provide answers. But until viewers see the complete conversation, it's worth keeping an open mind. Maybe John and JJ deliberately lied. Maybe there was a misunderstanding, or maybe the truth is somewhere in between. The finale should give viewers a much clearer picture. The Season 1 finale appears ready to leave viewers with one major question. Can John and JJ convince everyone that their version of events is the truth? The bed-sharing controversy may seem like a small detail, but when trust is already fragile, even a single unanswered question can create major tension. Whether the finale confirms the accusations, clears up the misunderstanding, or reveals an entirely different side of the story, the most important thing is to separate what the preview suggests from what the full episode actually confirms. With the season coming to an end, John and JJ's situation could become one of the final reminders that on Little Singles, relationships aren't always as simple as they first appear. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.